Good evening, everyone. Hello and welcome to A Course in Miracles. We are on day 13 of our discussion. It's been wonderful and amazing and powerful. I'm Teri Angel here with my co-host Karen Palmer. Hi, Karen.
Hi.
And we have a couple of people on Zoom to discuss with us, and that's Auntie Jean and Chris. And any of you that are coming in, if you have questions or comments relevant to what we're discussing, just type it in there and we'll see it. So Karen always opens us up so beautifully to get ready to receive this blessing and this lesson. So Karen, would you do that, please?
Yeah, so I would encourage us and invite us to slow down our breath, to rest in our true heart, and just hear these words with so much love that these words are to help us to remember the truth, and so that we can live in freedom and know who we truly are beyond all the false experiences and illusions and appearances and identities that we have encountered. So I encourage you to just let yourself really hear these words. Let them kind of wash over you like water. Don't try to analyze or find out what it actually means. Just let it be okay. The miracle establishes you dream a dream and that its content is not true. This is a crucial step in dealing with illusions. No one is afraid of them when he perceives that he made them up. The fear was held in place because he did not see that he was the author of the dream and not just a figure in the dream. So let me read this slowly in a way that we can hear it. The miracle establishes you dream a dream that its content is not true. This is a crucial step in dealing with illusions. No one is afraid of them when they perceive that they made them up. The fear is held in place because they did not see that they were always the author of the dream and not just a figure in the dream. So that's I'd like to, I think that it's a good idea for us to kind of unpack that together, Teri, because this was a lesson that had me running to the hills. I remember when I first read it, I was really in a place where it was a hard lesson. And it gets harder as we move into the lesson from the actual course. So that's a pretty stiff one right there. But when we, what I was talking about with Teri before we started the show was this is our freedom. When we realize that we are creating the movie, the dream, we are the director, the script writer, we are the producer, we are producing the movie, and everyone else are, co-starring with us. And in the dream, we can get sucked into other people's nightmares. This is what's so powerful. We can get sucked into other people's visions of their upsets, and we can get pulled in. But if we stay centered, knowing that we are the co-creator with our creator of the illusory experience, then we can gently take back our power and realize that a lot of our dream, a lot of the ego's dream, a lot of the ego thought system was passed down from generation to generation. It's old programming, old conditions. And if we are not conscious or aware, then we just fall into the dream and we just fall asleep. And part of our mind is wide awake with our creator, and then part of our mind is asleep in the dream. And in the part of our mind that's asleep in the dream, horrific, horrible things can happen in that dream. But we are the dreamer that is dreaming the dream. So we're also going to see that in this lesson that we're coming up, that we, when we're unconscious, when we are unaware, and when we are in the dream and we are asleep, we are actually in competition with God. And we are the ego thought system, which is a system that we have tapped into and identified as a body-mind experience. When we believe that we are the body-mind and that's all I am, is a body and a mind, having this experience, this spiritual experience. A lot of people say that. A lot of people say, I feel like I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. No, you are a full-on spirit, and you are pure soul. You are not the human part of you is always conditioning and programming, and it's not you. So the most important thing is to realize that in every moment we get to choose. Am I in competition with God? Am I substituting? Am I trying to substitute God? Have I been? You got to just ask yourself those questions and just be gentle with the answer.
I do love this lesson, Karen. And I love how it's really being brought out about how we see things. So Pam Grouch did a beautiful job on this chapter. And she talks about an experience she had where she got to go on this cruise. And it was very well-known chefs that were on the cruise. And she was so excited about being there. And she steps on the cruise boat, and there is a cardboard cutout of the three chefs that are appearing on the cruise. And so she took a selfie with that cutout. And then she really explains that, sometimes we get stuck in looking at the cardboard cutout. Sometimes we think that's reality instead of being able to go past that and see the real deal, and see the manifestation of whatever that is that we're so excited about. I want that. And then looking at, okay, what's real? Is that my version of reality? Is me with that stiff cardboard? Or is there more? And I think this is where we begin to see, is there more than what my physical eyes are showing me? And go beyond that and really look and explore. And as the lesson says, detach from all the meanings I have given to the world. It's the pathway to freedom and happiness. And it truly is. When we don't think of that cardboard cutout as something real, when we see it for what it is, then we know that there's more to this story. We know that there's more to be explored and more to find it. Go explore it. Go look for it. Instead of just accepting that something is the way we've always assigned it a meaning for it to be. So yeah, I think this is one of my favorite ones. And yeah, it can be a little difficult to wrap our brain around, but it doesn't have to be. That's the thing with learning lessons. It doesn't have to be difficult at all. We can take it
with the intellectual brain is never gonna get it, because the ego is a getting device, and it's all about getting. It feels like, what am I getting out of this? What am I getting? What's in it for me? That's basically the story. WIIFM is the radio station. The ego thought system is always playing. It's always asking, what's in it for me? What's in it for me? And it's constantly, and see, when we are connected with and being our true self, our true original self, it's what can I give? How can I give? Because I feel so overflowing with so much love inside of me, and so much that God has given me. What can I give? So we have to always question who is talking to us. Who is our teacher at this moment? Who is teaching us? Who is guiding us? Because the guide for getting, so forgetting is that we forget who we are. And we forget who we are, and then we let other people tell us who we are. And we look for outside externals to tell us that we're good enough, and that we're approved of, and that we're appreciated, and that we're loved. So that's when we're forgetting who we are. And we're also forgetting when we're thinking, what's in it for me? What am I getting from this? Why am I spending this time reading this lesson? What's in it for me? I don't get this. I don't get this. Notice how many times we go through the day thinking about what's in it for me. So, should I read the lesson?
Let's see who's on with us and see if they have any questions. Kathy's here, Suzanne's here, Julie Kiss, Joanne Castrillo, and Julie says, I get sucked in so much. We can. That's the illusion. It's going to suck us in if we allow it. If we don't have the awareness that this course is trying to bring to us. And she says, wow, this is so heavy. It's a big lesson. There's a lot to unpack with this. And Isabel's here. Hi, Isabel. And Jean, I see that you want to say something.
Well, I can you hear me? Because I know my computer's kind of strange. I kind of like the way that it's explained in the Course in Miracles for Children. I don't know if you all know there is one, but there is one. And at the beginning, you have to read the story because it's written for a young person, but I love it. I just love it. And it said, God tells the little lamb he's sending down to earth that people are in a dream, but they don't realize that they're in a dream. And he says they're in the dream, and they no longer hear my voice. They no longer realize how much I love them. So I'm going to send you to earth, and you're going to wake them up. I feel like that's what this Course in Miracles is trying to do to us, is to wake us up by telling us you're in a dream. It's not real. What you need to do is start listening to spirit, to listening to that voice in your heart. And It really made me love this lesson when I read that. I really did. So I don't know if that's helpful to anybody, but I just felt like I had to say it like that. Okay.
Very helpful. Very helpful. I highly recommend that book. I highly recommend the children's book.
Look at, she's
It's a
showing it.
wonderful, for adults, it's a wonderful companion for the actual text, because she goes right into the text. And then she actually does the Course in Miracles workbook for children too, which is really highly recommended also.
You know what else? My edition is in Spanish in the back. It's in English and Spanish. So,
Well, Julie said that was very helpful, Jean, and thank you for that.
Yes.
Suzanne says, I realize that I am on the right path. I get this lesson. I love that there's some awareness and some of what they're trying to teach us. I'm glad that that's starting to come through. And Kathy says, I never looked at these lessons as such. I never asked, what am I getting from this? That sounds selfish. Now I do admit the hardest lessons to me were these very beginning ones, but each year I've done this, the later lessons have made more of an impact on me.
that's true.
Yeah, I love that.
And I'm gonna start it tomorrow for my homework with Erica.
Good. I'm so glad that she's going to help you with that. So let's go to Karen and let's get our lesson for this one, for lesson 13.
Yeah.
Hard to believe we're there, but Karen, we are there.
This one is a meaningless world engenders fear. Today's idea is really another form of the preceding one, except that it is more specific to the emotion aroused. Actually, a meaningless world is impossible. Nothing without meaning exists. However, it does not follow that you will not think you perceive something that has no meaning. On the contrary, you will be particularly likely to think that you do perceive it. Recognition of meaninglessness arouses intense anxiety in all separated ones. It represents a situation in which God and the ego challenge each other as to whose meaning is to be written in the empty space that the meaningless provides. The ego rushes in frantically to establish its own ideas there, fearful that the void may otherwise be used to demonstrate its own impotence and unreality. And on this alone, it is correct. And always realize that the ego speaks first. It always speaks first. It is essential, therefore, that you learn to recognize the meaningless and accept it without fear. If you are fearful, it is certain that you will endow the world with attributes that it does not possess and crowd it with images that do not exist. To the ego, illusions are safety devices, as they must also be to you who equate yourself with the ego. The exercise for today, which should be done about 3 or 4 times for not more than a minute or so at most each time, are to be practiced in a somewhat different way from the preceding ones. The eyes are closed and you repeat the idea to yourself, and then open your eyes and look about you slowly, saying, I am looking at a meaningless world. Repeat this statement to yourself as you look about, then close your eyes and conclude with this. This is a tough one. A meaningless world engenders fear because I think I am in competition with God. You may find it difficult to avoid resistance in one form or another to this concluding statement. Whatever form such resistance may take, remind yourself that you are really afraid of such a thought because of the vengeance of the enemy. You are not expected to believe the statement at this point and will probably dismiss it as preposterous. Note carefully, however, any signs of overt or covert fear which may arouse. This is our first attempt at stating an implicit cause and effect relationship of a kind which you are very inexperienced at. In recognizing, don't dwell on the concluding statement and try not even to think of it except during the practice periods. This will suffice at present.
Our work cut out for us. Yeah, but I think this lesson is so huge. And I keep going back to that cardboard cutout. Look beyond it. Look for what is real and not the illusion of something that represents something else. So thank you so much, Karen, for this.
Yeah, this was a monumental lesson for me.
It is.
I still remember the first year. I remember the very first time that I read this. And being raised a very strict Roman Catholic little girl, I was terrified when I read this and thought, this is pure blasphemy. Like, I'm in competition. You think I'm in competition with God? Who's written this book? Who's, and I was like, I swear, I was reading the book by myself in a room and I was looking around waiting for the devil to come out from somewhere. I was just waiting for, this is it, Karen, you're going to hell right now. I mean, that was like how much fear I had of God. And it was like very much instilled in me and programmed in me and conditioned into me that what I was reading was blasphemy. And it was hard. Like it took a real lot of courage to go to the next lesson, because I really was like I said, I was terrified of this lesson. So anybody who's having struggles with it, feel free to, reach out to us. Teri and I are both, here to just be your support, your love, and your guide through this. So, and we know how difficult it is to stay with the lessons, to stay the course. Like, it's not just doing the lessons, it's staying the course. It's being in full service to only love. That's a really tricky thing to be in this world when so much is coming at us from all different directions and we have all these illusions that seem so real, and all you have to do is just right back to the heart. Nope, only love is real. Nope, only love is real. Just come back to that. And then, it's like in the Course, it explains to us when we get to that point, then God comes and takes our hand and pulls us the rest of the way. So we have to get to this point where we are trusting. We have to go from the fear to the love. And we have to pay attention to who are we listening to? Which teacher are we listening to? Are we listening to the teacher of love or the teacher of fear? And who have we been listening to? That's the important question to ask yourself. And then gently forgive yourself for being unaware that you were following a teacher of fear. That's what I've done. I've just been saying to myself, I forgive myself for being unaware that I was using others to hide my guilt and my shame, to hide from God. I've been using situations to hide. And I would love the Holy Spirit to help me and guide me so that I can make better choices and not have the results of my thinking anymore. I don't want the results of my thinking anymore. So that's, just.
Thank you. Yeah. And Suzanne says, basically, we have to say, Jesus, take the wheel. And that's it.
Absolutely. I trust in you.
Yeah. If you remember,
Jesus is in charge of the time and space and illusions.
Yeah. And if y'all remember, it was Jesus that came through and channeled this through, I forget her name right now.
Helen.
Thank you, Helen. And and he brought these messages to us. So, Jesus is only love and light. There is nothing that's going to lead us astray there. Julie Kiss says, faith, not fear. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. Yeah. And Julie says, wonderful lesson. Go ahead, Jean.
I was just going to say, I think I must have the most naughty ego in the world, because I think what I try to do is tell God what to do. That I'll say, well, if you did this, God, and you did this, God, and if you would just help Annie and Grayson, if you would just cure them, and I'll do this believe this or not, at the grid when I'm praying. And then I'll catch myself and I say, what are you doing? Who are you to tell the divine what to do? He knows everything. He knows that they're ill. He knows how bad or how worried Annie is about Grayson. What kind of an ego is that I think that I can tell God what to do? I think our problem is
the average ego. It's the average ego.
We got to get rid of our ego, throw it away somewhere, because we don't need it.
Well, we do need the ego. It does serve a purpose, but what we have to realize is what is our role, and looking beyond those ego thoughts, and how do we have that relationship with God, with our Creator, that we're not telling him how to run the world. We're just saying that, we want some attention shown, some light shown on those things that are dear to our heart. So no, we're not instructing God in any way at all. It's just we're putting in our petition as it is.
Just asking, how can I be truly helpful? Asking Spirit all the time, in every moment, how can I be only truly helpful and wholly harmless in this world? How can I be of service? That's all. And then, remembering that God has given us everything. It's only the ego thought system, and you're not the ego. The ego thought system is just a bunch of thoughts that are thrown together. They're not even all your thoughts. You're all kinds of thoughts. But the ego thought system is, we don't want to claim that. We don't want to call it our ego, my ego. We don't want to feel that we are identifying with the ego. We want to continually identify as love that created us is what we are. Love that created us is what we are. And every time that we, find ourselves being swayed or fooled by the ego, we can just laugh and say, no, 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 I'm not interested in you. I let you go because this is not helpful to me. And this is not helpful to Grayson. This is not helpful. So I'm not going to continue to, be in service to the ego. I'm not in service to the ego anymore. See, when we're unaware, when we're unconscious, we are in service to the ego thought system, because all we know is what we've been programmed and what we've been, conditioned to believe is true. Until we start to question those things, it's like a done deal, and most people on the planet are not living from a conscious level. A lot of people are still completely unconscious of their true self. They don't even know they have a true self.
We were created with an ego, so we can't say that it doesn't have a purpose. We can't say that it's something bad. And I think that's where a lot of us, we see the contrast as something bad. It's not. And when we can love that contrast, we're loving every lesson that we're getting. We're loving every experience that we're having. So I think the shift would be, thank you, ego, for what you've taught me. I choose now to listen to love and the voice of God over the human ego voice that's running inside of me. Does that sound like a little softer way, Jean?
Yeah,
for
it
you?
does.
Yeah.
And thank you.
You can just pat it on the back and say, thank you for
your
your help. I don't need your help anymore.
Yeah. Thank you for
I
your
have a new
service.
teacher. That's what I say. Like when it comes through and it's loud and it's playing its record and it's like a broken record, I just say, I have a new teacher now. I'm not listening to you. I have a new teacher now.
Right.
Ever since I put up the grid, that's the word I've heard over and over, is service. And I don't know if I hate to tell you guys, but it's for all of us. For all of us. When I go to activate the grid every day, it's really activated all the time, but I light the candles and I say a prayer, and it's always, the keys are going to be of service. The keys are going to help, and it doesn't have to be a big thing, it can be in small ways, but that's what I hear every morning.
Beautiful. And yes, we are. We do have a huge service, and we are overtime.
Mm-hmm.
So, Karen, is there more to be read, or that was it?
That was it.
That was it. All right. So we're going to get on to our chanting part. Thank you all so much for being here. I saw that Hope Wellington Marshall was listening in, and our Marianne Malone Cindy. Oh my gosh, I haven't seen her in so long. And I know there were just tornadoes in Alabama. Marianne, I was so worried about you if you're still listening. Yeah. And I pray that you are safe where you are, and that storm didn't affect you. But thank you to all
you,
and just, we love you so much. And we thank you for coming in every night to study this with us, because we're all doing it together. And
yes,
you're a big part of that. So thank you. We are going to go into our chanting. So I'm going to turn the live stream off on the group, and we'll see you tomorrow. Karen, would you start talking about the chanting, please? The first chant is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Yes, so this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. Beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number, and then beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in a short meditation on freedom, and then we'll go into our second chant. So we declare that all obstacles be removed.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
We declare that all barriers, conflicts, and violence be removed.
Om Ganapataye Namaha.
And we declare that all barriers, conflicts, and violence be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. We declare that all illusions and illness be removed. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam
Om Gam
Ganapataye
Ganapataye Namaha.
Om
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha.
Let's go into our heart by taking a deep breath into our lungs. Focus on what you're feeling inside of you when you chant these words, when you chant this energy of letting go, of having obstacles removed and barriers broken through, and what that means when we totally let go and we release the hold that those illusions have on us. And what happens is our vibration moves upward. Our frequency rises up to a higher plane. And it's in that higher plane that the miracles are just shown to us so clearly. And that's where we're going to go with this next chant. And we're going to first say hello to our miracle, Marlene. Hi, Marlene. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So, Karen, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Yes, so this is where we're going to chant 3 times slow, and then we'll chant 108 times all together as our beautiful family. Beautiful Auntie Jean will let us know when we get to that magic number, and then beautiful Teri Angel will lead us in the next part of our session. So we declare that all are accepting, aligning, allowing, and awake. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all are happy and healthy. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. We declare that all live in peace and harmony and are open and ready to receive miracles. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho 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 Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. 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 Myoho Renge Kyo. Nam 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 Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam Myoho
Kyo.
Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam
Myoho Renge
Myoho Renge
Kyo.
Kyo.
Nam
Nam
Myoho
Myoho
Renge
Renge
Kyo.
Kyo. Nam Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho Renge
Nam
Kyo.
Myoho
Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Nam
Nam
Myoho
Myoho
Renge
Renge
Kyo.
Kyo. Let's go back into our hearts again, back into that place of perfect peace. And inside of our hearts, let's just really focus on the energy of love, compassion, joy. We're going to chant Om 3 times. Om is the cosmic sound of God. So as you chant, just hold that beautiful energy and give love to our Creator. And then we'll share that love with our brain, doing the heart-brain coherence, and then we'll share it out with the world. So take a deep breath in, focus on the love, and let's begin the chanting of Om. Stay focused on that energy of love, and let's just send it out. Take a deep breath of it into your heart and exhale it out into the world, wherever it needs to be, whether that's a person, a family, a community, a country, or maybe a part of the world that's experiencing difficulty right now. Wherever your focus goes, just send that love there. Om Shanti Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. We pray for peace in our world, peace in our hearts, and this love that we're sending forth is what will bring that peace forward. Om Shanti. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all who came in tonight. And every night we make a declaration that there is peace on earth.
Yeah.
Karen, would you lead us in that tonight, please?
Absolutely. So this is where we are going to hold the space that there is peace on earth, and that that peace begins inside of us and radiates out of us. So we'll do that on 3, 2, 1.
2,
All
1.
together, we declare
that
there is peace on earth, and we declare that peace begins and radiates from within
always.
forever and ever.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen. And be kind.
And be kind. And we do this as a group known as
The
Peace
for Peace. Jean, wouldn't you want to be a P?
Yes, I'm a P. I'm a P. And Teri, you're a P.
Yep.
Karen, you're a P. And Chris, you're a P.
Yep.
Anybody else? Don't you want to be a P too?
Come join us and be a P. Isabel's a P. Marlene's a P.
Yeah.
There's a P, Marlene.
I love that. We're missing our P. Charlie tonight, so send him some love and healing energy his way. We're missing our Grace Isis, who
The
always
hills are alive with the sound of chanting, and the sprinkling of peace, and the smiles on faces, because peace is coming around the mountain when we chant. Peace is coming around the mountain when we chant. Peace is coming around the We see smiles on people's faces, pieces coming around.
Memory.
Nam Myoho
Renge Kyo. Be kind.
Be kind.
Time.
Get on the silliness train. with us.
Rewind. Be
Nine.
kind. Rewind. Do it
Nine.
again. Do it
Nine.
again. Do it again. Say it again.
Mhm.
I love that. Thank you, Karen. That was beautiful. So, and Jean, thank you for the little P song. Wouldn't you want to be a P2? I love
Ew,
that.
yeah. Then new.
Yeah.
That's
All right. So we're going to get off of here and wish you all a beautiful rest of your night or your day or whatever it is. And we love you. Come back tomorrow. We'll do it again. And that's right.
Yeah.
Isabel, don't forget to smile, everyone. Isabel's reminding us because spirit magnifies incredible loving energy. Thank you, Marietta, for that teaching. All right. We're gone. We're out of here. We leave you with
Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.